welcome guys to episode 36 of the Uncleanables Podcast. We are back this week. How's your week been, Dan?
Alive and kicking. Nearly lost my little finger. I've been lathered in TCP. My flat absolutely stinks of it. My missus is all but ready to kick me out.
Really? I quite like the smell of TCP.
So I don't mind it because it means that you're healing. Yeah. Like the healing process has begun. So I had a really good week. I had a couple of big jobs, and for want of a better word, you really get on with the customers, and I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So I wrapped up at a real nice one when the sun was shining, gorgeous. Really got in with the customer, really nice woman, and she said, "Oh, can I get you to quote other bits and pieces?" Which was fantastic. They've come to fruition. She wants them done, so we booked them in, and then it's been a week really of gardens, which I don't mind. I quite like working outside, but I was carrying a pair of shears. You know when you're in a mad rush, and you're wrapping up and you've got another job to go to, and you're like, come on, let's get this done. And I was carrying a pair of shears with a pair of loppers in that hand and my strimmer in the other, and slowly the weight of the shears handle just slowly closed like that and went crunch on my finger,
cutting you up.
And I just looked like that. It was that close to me, and it just went into it, and I just thought, wow, and it just started going. So I ran into the customer. It was an old dear, bless her. I said, have you got any sellotape and Bounty? I'm quite good with blood. I'm pain. I'm like, I can handle it a little bit. Fucking these comments are going to go mental. So I said, oh, have you got a bit of Bounty and some sellotape? And she went, no, do you want a plaster? And I was like, a plaster ain't going to cut that, girl. Like, that needs a sling. So anyway, I done it. She looked at it and nearly fainted, the old girl. But the week's been really good. Just been plodding along, booking things in. I've got my window cleaning set up.
Nearly there, innit?
Almost there. I just need a pump and controller, which I'm going to book this week. So that's another little leg for MKM. So I'm slowly trying to pull away and get, like I said on the podcast before, I think this is a great point. You need a book. You need a data. Like a ledger of data, and I think window cleaning is fantastic. You get liaise with these people every month, talk to them, they like you, they trust you. Do you know anyone that can do this? Do you know anyone that can do that? And it slowly grows your phone book amazingly.
Absolutely.
So that's where I'm at. What about you? How's your week?
I've been a little bit under the weather.
Yeah.
So Saturday I was in hospital. I had some minor surgery, and that was fine. That went all really well. But I started getting a bit of a tickly throat the night before, and I thought I was just getting a bit nervous because I wasn't going under. It was just local anaesthetic.
Yeah.
So I was going to be awake for the whole thing, and it's not nice, being chopped open and everything. So I thought, I'm just getting a bit nervous.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Saturday was fine. The throat was fine, but I think it was the adrenaline because Saturday evening I felt so ill, and then Sunday we had the gender reveal for my new baby.
What is it?
It is.
Before we get back into the main podcast, we have a word from today's sponsor. Have you ever found yourself wondering what to charge for a job? Well, wonder no more. With the pressure washing calculator, it couldn't be easier to work out what you should charge. You can calculate your prices, create quotes, and even add in and remove tax if you're that level of business. It's completely free to download and includes roof cleaning, flat work and sealing, and house washing and rendering, including fences, brick walls and stone walls. All you have to do is input the square meterage and select the type of paving, and the calculator does everything else for you. If you upgrade it to the paid version, you can include things like the type of paving, sealing and coating of the roofs. There's a ton of other features to use on there, so download it today for completely free and have a little play around. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description or in the show notes if you're listening on a podcast app. Anyway, back to the podcast.
Another little girl. Whee! So yeah, very happy about that. And then we jumped straight back in it. I had you with me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel after the surgery. And luckily, because I felt so rough, you were a godsend.
You was in a bad way.
Yeah, I weren't great. But we didn't have anything like overly interesting. There was a couple of driveways.
Yeah, and a lot of windows.
On Monday, then a couple of days of windows. And then I done... So by the time you listen to this podcast, it will already be on YouTube, which is coming out Friday. I done the school clean. So we cleaned the playground. Basically, the equipment gets tested every year. Last year, it got condemned. So it's been sitting untouched for at least a year. So they're having all of the equipment removed, but they wanted the floor tidied up so that they said they're building a couple of buildings on it, but in the meantime they wanted the kids to be able to play on it.
Just explain that, because you reached out to them. They didn't reach out to you.
No, they reached out to me.
Oh, they
so
did?
that came through as a checker trade inquiry.
Okay,
So they were, I don't know, people think I'm mad, right? They were willing to pay for that. And
you've done it for free?
realistically, I should have said to them, mate, like, cover my costs sort of thing, like a couple £100. But I think that takes away from, like, if I'm doing something on YouTube and I'm putting it out there to tens of thousands of people, you know, potentially more if, you know, if the video does well, I don't want to say I've done it for free and then have taken some money on the back end of that.
Saying, yeah, I understand.
So it was easier just to say I'll do it for free. Also, I roped in the help. I didn't rope in, he offered to help, of Sillard from I always say this wrong, Bam Clean. And if I'm getting paid some money, and then
he'd have to get paid some money.
and then like by the time you've worked out what everyone wants, you know, for helping, it was a long old day. It'd almost be like I shouldn't have done it for free in the first place. So it was it came up beautifully, and I got some really good video footage from it.
Put the link on it, because that is the transformation was incredible.
Yeah, I will.
Like it almost looked like you laid it.
Yeah,
that's how well it came up.
Really nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Really nice. And that the whole time we were cleaning that, I was stressing. So we got there at 8, done like all the initial photos, videos, got the drone up, all good. Then there was a lot of like dry debris, and it wasn't raining. So I was like, let's scoop as much as possible. I bought a couple of ton bags. I said we can then dump them, and we ain't got to get rid of the muck. But if we let it get wet, it's just going to be a nightmare. There's nowhere for it to go. There's no drainage because obviously it's a playground. And as we were like going through it, it's getting later and later, and I'm still sweeping and scooping at like 11:45. I'm like, we ain't even started cleaning yet. And I know how difficult wet pour is to clean. You know, it's not the easiest surface to clean.
Wet pour.
Yeah,
wet
it's like
tarmac.
it's like the little rubber.
Oh, like crumb rubber.
Yeah,
yeah.
And they compacted, didn't they? And to be fair with you, like the whole thing was knackered. Like there had been a tree cut down, and the guys that had obviously chopped the tree up had gone too far with their chainsaw or circular saw. There's all gashes in the floor. There's a couple of bits you walked on it and your foot just sunk.
Really?
There's obviously like void underneath. So they're going to have to sort that out. And like I'm walking on these bits and I'm like, mate, I'm cleaning this for a video at this point. Like, you're not going to be able to use it. Like, it's knackered.
You want to rip it up? Really,
And I'm like, I feel like my brain's going, you're not even going to get it done. We're so far behind. Tell him that, you know, you can't do it. There's no point doing it. Like, they've cut a hole in it. There's a big old dip. Like, you're not going to be using that bit anyway.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But we soldiered on, and it came up beautifully, and I was very, very happy with it. And it was my longest video I've ever made, 46 minutes. So it's
that was a great clean.
Almost a feature-length movie.
No, it was good. It was really good.
Did you watch it? I sent you the link.
I did watch it. Yeah.
I
couldn't believe the actual colours. Like on the befores, like I didn't realise it was so blue.
Yeah, I
it was
either.
like turquoise.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you guys watch it. It's honestly, it's well worth it.
Yeah.
It started off mossy and horrible, and then turned into like absolute beautiful turquoise blue and all the rest of it.
I was shocked at how well it came up in the end.
Mega.
Really. I didn't the whole time I was cleaning. I just didn't think it was going to come up how it did. And I thought, I'm going to do all this work and it's not going to come up very good. And I filmed it, and at the end it's going to be like patchy and shit. And it did come up very, very well.
Have you ever done videos where it's you think it's going to come up incredible, you watch it back and it come up awful?
Beautiful, loads.
And you just didn't even post it?
Yeah, a couple I haven't posted. A couple of them I was posting them anyway.
Yeah.
I think, like, personally, I like to, because like a lot of the viewers, I think some of the viewers like the before and after, but I know like the other people in the cleaning industry that watch me, they appreciate the realness.
Yeah.
Like, you can't win every job.
Yeah. Totally.
And like when they see these like bigger YouTubers putting these videos out and like everything's immaculate at the end.
Like Indian sandstone.
Yeah.
Not every job's Indian sandstone.
But not every job comes up perfect to
totally,
Indian sandstone. But like you'll see it's like one channel that just every time it just looks brand new.
Yeah.
And you think that's not reality.
Yeah.
It doesn't always come out like that.
Totally.
You can't spend all day there and come back the next day carrying on treating it. Like, you've only charged the customer for like one or maybe two, or one chemical treatment and a bit of spot treatment. You can't just keep treating it until all the black spot are gone. Like, you'd end up losing money at some point.
And a lot of time.
Yeah, precisely. So I like to throw in a little bit of reality.
Totally.
And that video, I was still really under the weather. My voice was nearly gone. I lost my voice, didn't I, this week as well? I was just having a bad time. and then right at the end of the video, the heavens absolutely opened.
You got an interesting thing to say about the drone as well, haven't you?
Oh yeah, the end of that video, we put the drone up to get some drone footage, and all the seagulls come out like proper squawking, and I thought, I know it's not like, it was like school, after school time, so like when the kids were probably getting like chips and stuff, even though it was half term. So I thought, I did have my concerns, and I thought, I think nothing of it. Anyway, Sillard's on the drone, and he just goes, no! And I just see the drone falling out the sky, and a seagull had attacked it, from above, and pushed it down, and lost one of its propellers. It was fine, one of the propellers broke. I've replaced it now because it comes with some spares. But obviously, if one breaks, it can't fly.
Mate,
so it just gets
incredible.
pushed into. I did pop it at the end of the video.
Did you get any footage of the seagull?
Just from far away, but.
Oh, you don't see it like hitting?
No, because it hit it from above and the camera's facing down.
Of course, you won't see it.
It kind of looks like he just flew it into the tree.
Oh, really?
But it's because the camera on the drone's magnified, because obviously you're actually quite far away from the ground. So if it wasn't magnified.
Yeah, you wouldn't see it.
It would just, it'd just be tiny. So where it looks like he's right above the tree line, he's actually probably 2 or 3 metres away from the tree line. I know what you mean. So it just gets pushed down, and then it tumbles through the tree and hits the ground.
Right, what's the topic?
Today's topic is one that I talk about a lot. It is starting with the end in mind. What is the end game? And thinking long term rather than short term. Now, this comes up quite a lot because I think we've had this conversation with you a few times as well.
Every day.
Yeah, where you go, this week's a bit shit. I've only got a couple of jobs. And I go, yeah, but what you done this month?
Yeah.
And you go, actually, a month's not been too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then now look at a yearly.
Yeah.
And really, I think where it has more power is when you look at marketing. And it's not so much, looking monthly instead of weekly is good for your ego and sanity, trying to keep you going when times are tough, because everyone has a bad week or even a bad month. But when it comes to marketing, people look at this and they go, and I've talked to a lot of people about checker trade, and they go, I don't know if I want to part with £80 a month. Or my mate done it and he got no work for 3 months. And I'm like, so when I joined Checker Trade, I was fortunate. My first job on Checker Trade within the week of signing up was a double roof clean. So it's £1,500. I paid for nearly 2 years of Checker Trade, £80 a month with my first job. So I'm covered. But lots of people obviously don't have that experience, or they don't even offer a roof cleaning, so it can be a little bit harder. But the conversation I have all the time was, I don't want to spend £80 a month. And it always throws me back to the episode we done with Jordan, the pool cleaner.
Yeah.
Where he was looking at spending £150 a month for, and it was equating to one
liner, wasn't it? Yeah.
And he's going, it's not worth it. And you said to him, would you buy £1,500 with £150? And he said, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, you couldn't see it, could he?
But you might find that you spend £150 for 3 months and then you get 3 liners in 1 month.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
And you've got to look, so I always say to people, you've got to look at it over the year. And I had this conversation with someone specifically on Jake Smout's Discord. And he was basically saying along the lines of, it's not very good for him. And I said, do you look at, so he didn't track where he was getting Checker Trade leads from. He just sort of had a rough idea.
Do you mean geographically?
No, monetary. So he wasn't getting a job on Checker Trade and writing down and saying, that one was specifically from Checker Trade. He was just looking at he's spending 80 quid a month and his monthly income wasn't coming up, basically. And I said, if you track it, I would put money on that you would earn more than
80 quid a month.
Well, 800 quid a year, or
Yeah, totally,
960 quid a year over the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you might have a couple of months where you don't have any work.
Yeah.
But then you'll get a 240 quid gutter job or softening fascia job or whatever it might be. Something will come along and you will get more than your 960 quid.
Yeah.
But you've got to look at it long term. And that's something you struggle with, isn't it?
Yeah. I struggle with it because I'm working with a set amount of money, so to speak, and I can't really fail in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm looking at it from that point of view. But like, as soon as I got some, like, this month's been incredible for me. May's been incredible. So now I've got a little bit of backing. Now I can get other purchases and take risks as well. So I've jumped on the exterior cleaning on Checker Trade. It's for me it's 116 because it's added on.
Yeah.
But it's rolling, so I can cancel at any time. I've had one inquiry for a pressure wash, and I spoke to her on the phone. She said, we're going to put it on hold, but we're going to give you a call in July. And I said, yeah, no worries at all. But I had nothing else since. I've had a few cleans, like house cleans, because I've still got that.
Checked your...
But I'm happy with them. I'm happy because it just comes in and I sub them out to bits and pieces, you know what I mean? And it goes through like that. So that's not the end of the world for me. But ideally, yeah, I will gauge it. But where it's rolling, I'm happy to see it out through the summer and then just maybe jack it. I might get a couple of big ones coming in.
They're good I find they're good for the gutters in the winter months.
In the winter months.
Yeah. And I found back end of last year, I'd say 80% of my inquiries for gutters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a lot of the people, like, I was turning them down because I was fairly busy anyway, but I was turning them down when they had, we need our gutter repaired.
Yeah.
But they want them cleaned at the same time. And for me, like, I'd much rather give that to someone who repairs gutters.
Yeah.
Because, like, anyone who repairs gutters is probably happy to empty them at the same time.
Yeah, I understand what
But
you mean.
I'm not happy to repair a gutter because I'm emptying it. So I just say, look, it's not for me. Like, and recommend they speak to
someone else. No, totally. But how am I trying to say this? It definitely makes you think, and ultimately as well, we are creatures of habit, and I think that when you're trying to say to someone, no, you need to look at it like this, you are totally trying to change how they think. And I've changed how I think entirely, but it's taken a long time for me to process it and work it out. Like before, do you remember before, like I was talking to you about jobs and like you talk about pricing and things like that, and I'm looking at you and I go, no one's going to pay that, mate. No one's going to pay that. That's a ridiculous amount of money. But then slowly but surely, I'm realising, I'm like, no, why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? And it's not about like having people over, so to speak. It's nothing like that whatsoever. It's more of a case of you're just getting a lot more value for your money. I.e., like if like what you said, if I turn up, like someone said to me, can I help? Can you come put some fences in? And I said, yeah, of course I can. I said, but I'd give them a day rate, and it was like in excess of 250 quid. And they went, that's ridiculous. And I went, well, for you, I thought, but if I turn up with three and a half grand's worth of tools, and my van's insured, and this is that, and I'm in a uniform, there's a lot more behind me than meets.
I think the issue is a lot of people still care what other people think.
Yeah.
And like, as you work for yourself, you might think you had tough skin before you start working for yourself, but it toughens your skin because you start to slowly, you get mugged off, or you do a job for like, you help them out, and then they call you back, and you think, mate, I don't need to help you out. Like, I've done you a good deal because I felt bad for you, and now you're moaning. And like, at that point, you start caring more about what you think rather than what other people think.
Yeah, totally.
And it thickens your skin in that sense.
But like, this is an interesting one. Like, let's just quickly touch on this. We'll get back to it, but let me just touch on this, right? Someone reached out to me and they said, can you, like, I'm moving out of this place, I just need I need this done and that done, I'm re-silicon there, and I need that bowl putting in there, and this, that, and the other. They said, what's your day rate, right? Now, honestly, hand on your heart, what would your day rate be if I said I want you for one day?
800 quid.
Right, there you go. Right, I'm sitting around about 350, and I know people laugh at that and all the rest of it, but I've had days better than that, and I've had days worse than that.
Yeah.
But if you want me to take a complete day out of my diary to work for you, I'm sitting around about that figure. And I said to her on email, I went, it won't work for you on day rate. I said, and she was like, well, what's your day rate and this, that and the other? And I said, it can't work like that on day rate, because she had a bulb that needed changing, she had a piece of wood in her garage and whatnot, she had the bathroom silicone. I said to her, if all the materials are there, I'll turn up and do it on day rate. I said, but the problem is they won't be.
Yeah, then you're going to have to drive to Screwfix.
But then I'm still on day rate.
Yeah.
And then at 12 I want an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then at 5 I'm gone.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not staying till 7 to get it done.
If I've got to come back, that's another day, right?
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I said, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't work like that in the real world. And I thought, so that's coming from someone who's always been on day rate effectively, and this, that and the other. And then I've had to completely change my thinking as to this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just explains, I think people might think I'm fucking acting Billy Big Bollocks when I say 100 quid. I don't work on day rate.
Yeah.
And that's why my day rate is 800 quid.
Yeah.
Because I don't earn that every day. I don't want people to think I do earn that every day. But I know I can have days where I earn more than that.
Yeah.
And most days I earn less than that. But like you say, if you want me to take a day out,
Yeah, totally.
that's what I'm potentially giving up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might book me 3 weeks in advance on day rate, but if I book you in at 200 quid or 250, I'm shooting myself in the foot.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it at that rate.
And there'll be people listening to this, and like they'll be listening on headphones, and they go, mate, what's he talking about, 800 quid a day? And you think that's fair enough, right? But then he's not the man for the job.
No.
Right? And if you ain't going to get someone on £800 a day to sweep up leaves, are you? You need to go down the pecking order, and you go, right, hang on, that 17-year-old boy just left college, he needs to learn, he'll do it, and he'll be on 80 quid a day. So it's like, go and ring up Conor McGregor and see how much he is to spar with, to train with. He's going to go $500,000.
And I think as well, you've got to bear in mind, like, when you're first starting out and you're not as busy, yeah, you might take some questionable deals from people, or you take what you can get because it's not in abundance. But for me, if I was desperate for work, I wouldn't say it's 800 quid. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I would take what I can get, but I'm fortunate enough to be quite flush with work. And the customers that don't want to pay, not that I charge day rate, but the customers that don't want to pay my prices aren't the customers for me. Yeah. And that's just how I live my life. Yeah. I don't try and negotiate with cheap people. And not that I think I'm expensive, but I've priced myself for my worth. And like that job we done today. So 800 quid would still have been, so the job today was about £1,400 in value. Obviously there was quite a few costs involved in that, but 800 quid would have still been a good day's money for that job. Even with the costs, it would have still, made a profit. But that's not how I operate. So I've quoted it how I quote. She's agreed, but then there was a render clean. One side of the building had been flashed with LED flashing, and I don't know why it was such a large area. There was obviously some issue, and the guys just thrown LED at it. Over the years, that LED's run off, and as I've cleaned the wall, the hypo's reacted with the LED and left like a red stain. Now that will lift over time, I hope, fingers crossed. But if she has an issue with that, I will go out of my way to sort that out for her. I've explained it to her in how I understand it. Yeah. It's not something that's happened to me in the past, but I know people it's happened to. I know how to remove it if she wants it removed immediately, but as far as I'm concerned, it will lift on its own. But if she's not happy with that, it's my reputation on the line, I will go and sort that out. Yeah, totally. And that's where my value comes in. Yeah. If I'd quoted a day rate...
Are you going back on day rate, mate?
No, of course I'm not.
There you go, see? Yeah. It just don't make sense, honestly.
She's been given the tools that we're going to use. Yeah. I've been there for a day. If she wants me to come back, it's another day rate.
It just makes sense.
And a whole different set of tools and a different chemical.
So I'm glad we got that wrapped up. Right, we're talking about month to month.
We've touched on that. So end game.
End game
is the next.
So yeah, as in starting a business with an end game.
No, as in like the Marvel film.
Oh, I've never watched it.
No, you won't get it. You're not watching.
Does he click it and they'll die?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. So I think it's always like this goes back to reverse engineering. We need to try and stay away from it.
But that's going to be an almighty episode.
Yeah, that is going to be colossal.
I love it.
Having an end game, I think, is very important. Having been on, you're going to pull me up massively on this. Having been on the end of the spectrum, where you're like...
You are on the spectrum.
Massively on the spectrum. Having been on the end of the spectrum where you're like, oh, I'm not going to go and get the strongest saw or the sharpest saw. I don't need the biggest chainsaw in the world because I'm only doing this and that. I've had this voice in my ear ever since I started working with him, and he's like, no, you need to think about in 6 months' time when you're getting these every week. You might have one. Let's say you cut down trees, yeah. Let's say you do trees, right? And a saw that will do the job when you first start, say, is 250 quid, right? But a saw that will do that job every day for a year is £700. Yeah, let's say. Everyone's going to go out and go, I'm just starting. I'll just get the 250 saw, yeah. Yeah, that's all well and good.
Like a proud father.
No, but totally.
Beautiful.
No, but it makes so much sense
Yeah.
now, yeah? And it's like, a good one, a best example I can give you is the pressure washer. When I first started, the pressure washer I've got now is the one I bought, and I went out and, I can't remember what I give for it.
You got it in a deal, didn't you?
I got it in a deal with a gutter vac, and I think it was something like 600 quid, yeah?
Yeah.
Or 500 quid or something like that. It's a good deal, but it's okay, and it does the job, right? But it's not the best litres per minute.
You was doing like one job every 3 months.
Right.
At that point.
So now I'm doing maybe 3 jobs a month.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if I just stretched that extra few quid when I first started, I wouldn't now have to take the time out of my day to run that down to the place. Do you know what I mean? To get it to change the pump over. And now putting a new pump on it, now that's 600 quid.
Yeah.
So now I'm sitting here thinking to myself, just cash it and buy another one. Just put maybe 300 to it. Do you see what I mean? So it's always good planning ahead and thinking ahead as well. Like I'm not saying if you're going into like window cleaning, you need the best petrol strimmer, because that ain't going to work out, is it?
No.
But if you're going into window cleaning or pressure washing, yeah, definitely think about...
There's certain things that you can save money on, but there's certain things that you can't. But I've always been that way, where I think long term rather than like, yeah, you can go out and buy second hand this, that and the other and it'll do you, but it might only last 2 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll get you going. But I said to you, didn't I? So if you're set up on the window cleaning, I said, look, you can do it for this much, but you're going to need to put some money aside and upgrade some bits ASAP. Or you can lump out this much and get like new this, new that.
And you're good for
And it's good for 2, 3 years, 4 years, depending on how much you use it. So like I bought those pumps when I started. Well, no, I started with my father-in-law's old one, but I upgraded pretty quickly. And I've never bought, so 3 years I've never bought another pump.
That's good, yeah. It's really good going.
So, like when you buy new, they do last. But you don't know what the age of it is if you buy second hand.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
And yeah, you could argue, oh, you don't need to, they last ages, but you just don't know what you're buying.
No.
And I think that example you gave with the chainsaw is like the most perfect example.
Yeah.
When you first start out,
you're not busy, are you?
No.
You're like, I've got one tree to cut down.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, now you have.
And it's like even early, like the other day when we went and picked up your tank, and I know the one we looked at wasn't great for you anyway, but it was like you were saying, oh, we're going to be taking it on and off the van. And it's like, yeah, but long term you're not going to be doing that.
Yeah, no, I agree, yeah.
So it was like, and then you went with one that's like a suitable middle ground, isn't it? So, and it's one of those things where if you buy, so I'd done it with the vans. I started off with a small van and I outgrew it within 6 months. After I kept with it for 6 months and it was a fucking nightmare. And every time I had a pressure washing job, I had like the pressure washer like upside down. I had the surface cleaner taken apart to fit in. I couldn't do window cleaning and pressure washing at the same time because everything was like put on top of this, that and the other. And then I got the new van, then I outgrew that. And so I got a second van, and then that wasn't being used as much as it should have been. So I got rid of them two and got an even bigger van. And now I probably could fill that up if I wanted to as well.
You definitely could.
Yeah. And it's like, if I just got the bigger van in the first place...
Yeah, you would have saved yourself.
I would have saved myself 30 grand.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
How much money I would have saved.
It's yeah.
But I never saw
really
that.
Is, isn't it?
Never saw that
really
at the start.
yeah.
Never saw that.
Like I look at that chainsaw I've got out there now, and it's good as gold, and it does me. But like, I know in like 2 months it's done.
Yeah.
Like I've outgrown it because it's only a lopping saw. It's a small one.
I think as well it's important to do research because when I bought my pressure washer, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with my pressure washer, it is good as gold. It's an 18 litre per minute, 4,000 psi. I think it's 3,000 working pressure. and it's worked for me for every job. But it is absolutely. I thought that was top of the range when I bought it. I just didn't do enough research because now that I know more, it's quite mid.
What is it? Stronger than a 21?
It goes up to 42. I think there's Ricky Banjo on YouTube. He put a thing up on one of the Facebook posts. He's got 2 washers, one diesel one, which is 42 litres a minute.
Fuck, mate, what is he cleaning?
And then another one that's like 30 litres a minute.
What
Jake's
on earth is he...
30 litres a minute, yeah.
Jeez,
21's the most popular top of the range.
I did not know it went higher than 21.
Yeah. I'm sure it goes higher than that if you go like real commercial.
Mate, they must drink like anything. Can you imagine trying to... Oh, mate, imagine his buffer tank. Yeah, must be like Wembley Stadium.
It's just a petrol tanker filled with water.
Good Lord.
But yeah, they go...
Insane.
Yeah. And I'm sure if you sort of commissioned one, you could...
Well, sky's the limit, isn't it?
Yeah. Or any sort of...
But it is interesting, I think. It's extremely interesting. When you start looking and breaking it down in bits and pieces like that, yeah, you need to really spend a few quid, I reckon. And if you can't, and obviously, like I've been in the other end of it where I'm like, no, I'll just get by on this for 6 months, or that'll do me for 6 months, or do me a turn. I totally agree. I've been in that side as well, and I still do it now. I'm still a sucker for it. But it does help in the long run.
But I think if you're going to do something like that as well, which was another smart decision you made, based off of my expert knowledge recommendations, is you bought a good quality saw. So although it wasn't, it's still isn't it? It's still. Yeah. So you can sell that. Yeah. But if you bought like a Bosch,
or
it's going to be worth fuck all in it. Yeah. Really.
Yeah,
2 years of use.
Yeah.
Whereas a steel one's going to hold its value pretty well.
Totally.
So you can still sell that for a pretty good amount. And then buy.
It's funny, I was having this conversation with someone the other day because we was talking about, because I had a few gardens, and there is nothing worse in the world than trying to start a 2-stroke tool and it won't start because it just makes you look like the biggest idiot on someone's driveway. You know, like your blower, and it won't start and you're yanking it, come on you fucker, and you throw it up the garden. It's the worst thing in the world. And I went out and I think my strimmer cost something like 700 quid. I've always wanted one. Always wanted it because I've had shit all my life. I just always wanted a decent one. I thought I'm going to go in there and I'm going to buy that. So I bought it. I had no garden maintenance jobs, nothing. And I thought, no, I just wanted it. So I give the money for it and took it home. Anyway, first couple of jobs. Mate, I can start it on my shoulder just with that movement from cold. And I'm like, it's the best feeling in the world. Yeah, like when quality. You've got good quality, a new tool. I said, mate, I've got to look at it and it starts.
They do electric start ones now, don't they?
Mate, they're incredible.
Yeah,
I want to get
a switch.
Next thing's the backpack, because you know,
the blower sucker.
Do you know what I'm learning?
Mulcher.
Do you know what I'm learning? Do you know how much time I can save on gardens by having a blower?
Yeah.
Now, you know them videos when they go woo and it all just disappears. Now imagine me sweeping that.
Yeah.
And the finish is never as good.
No, it won't be.
And I'm like, mate, that's got to be the next.
But this was the whole thing. Invest in your business, and it's not always, I can spend 1,200 quid on that, whatever how much the blower mulcher sucker things are expensive. Well, I can do the same job with a broom. But you're saving yourself 4 hours a job.
Yeah, this is it. So this is exactly it. So I had 2 gardens to do one day, and I've got the maintenance round now. So I've noticed on that day I must have spent, I know it sounds silly, I must have spent an hour sweeping, right? But bearing in mind, when it gets too big, I know I need to do it before it gets even worse. Yeah. So I'm sweeping the same spot maybe 3 or 4 times. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, and then when it's all gone in between all the gnomes and that and all the plants, and you're sitting there like with your hands and that trying to get it all out, and you think, mate, woo, and it would have been gone.
You remind me, I've got to put my blower on my van actually.
So it's just cool. It is just really, really cool. Yeah. And like you're messing around, like you said it to me as well about the X-Jet. I'm fanning around with a watering can. It's like, mate, just give 110 and have the X-Jet or whatever it is.
Yeah, and this is another thing. Like some tools are expensive, or they seem expensive for what they are. But it's not until you've got one that you realise how much time you save.
Yeah, totally.
Like the X-Jet is seems proportionately it's so out of proportion with what you get for what it costs. Yeah. It is literally 3 parts, and it's a barb, a manifold and a sprayer.
Yeah, that's it.
I
think it's giant money for what it is, but I don't think they've priced it based on the materials used. They've priced it on the job it does.
No, I think the manifold is probably copyrighted, not copyrighted, what is it?
Trademarked.
Patented.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say.
Yeah, probably.
Or it has been. I know there's some other versions now,
Hmm.
but they don't do. The other versions I've seen don't do such high percentages. There's a couple I've seen that do like only 5 or 9 to 1.
So what's the exchange ratio?
They go everything. I think it either starts at 2 to 1 or 3 to 1. They do. You get these little proportioners that you pop in the bottom.
Oh, really?
And it makes the hole smaller or bigger.
Yeah.
I don't use them. I just leave it out. So I just use it. I think it's 3 to 1.
Right.
Without the barbs.
But yeah, another thing as well is how much time it saves. So if you think about it logically, having a blower saves an hour per job, say, or half an hour per job. But then at the end of the week, you would have saved enough time to do another job.
Mate, this goes beautifully on from what we said at the start, right?
Right.
So a lot of people might go, I only do 1 job a week.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to save me 4 hours a month for 300 quid.
Yeah.
Well, I won't bother. But how many hours is it going to save you over the year?
Yeah, it's incredible. It is incredible.
Or the lifetime of your blower that lasts 5 or 6 years. How many hours is it going to save you then? 300 quid seems cheap when you look at it like that.
Yeah, when you say it like that.
And that's how you got to think of things.
Do you know what? If you said to someone, I will give you another 48 hours in your life, right, for £300, you'd have it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And all he does is he'd take the broom off you and give you a blower. Yeah. Like, think about it logically. That's what he's done.
Yeah.
It's all about time. And I didn't realise this until I was kind of with you for a bit. And it's like, it's all about time saving. Like, because we was talking about the gardens. We was talking about the gardens, and I said about the lawnmower, and you went, right, if you bin the electric for a petrol, you can get you probably do another 20 square metres per hour. And then this, that, and the other. And I went, yeah. So what does that mean? And he went, then you can fit in another one. And then you can do this and you can do that. And it slowly adds on. But,
big time.
But then going back to it as well, you always must remember this, because when someone says, what's your day rate? And you give them a stupid figure, you're like, but mate, I'm pulling up, I've made every mistake. So now I'm not making them.
Yeah, or
do you know what I mean?
I think it's best to avoid doing day rate.
Yeah, or just stay away from it.
It's all right when you start out, but when you get to a point where you're busy enough, you just say, I don't do day rate.
Yeah, totally.
Do price work. And the reason I don't do day rate is because I've invested £5,000 plus in tools to make me do jobs quicker.
Yeah, totally.
So if I give you a day rate price, I'm doing myself out of money.
I would say so.
Yeah, of course you are.
I would say so logically.
Because that same money you get day rate, you could earn in a couple of hours because you've invested in the right tools. If you're going to do day rate, you might as well just turn up with a rake and a pair of gloves. Because what's the point? What's the point doing it quickly?
Yeah, you're only robbing yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas if you price work, then you set the price based on what you've invested into your business.
Makes total
now,
sense.
where that really fucking bugs me is when people turn up and they charge what I'm charging, but they turn up with their Karcher or, something that they've spent 200 quid on.
So I had a woman reach out to me for a driveway, and I was chatting to her on the phone. She sounded like an elderly lady. It was a landline. I was talking to her. She said, can you give me a quote? I said, yeah. It was over 100 square metres, right? So the quote came in at like £360 for a resand as well. I said, how does that kind of sit? She said, we've had a few quotes. She said, we've had a lot of letters and flyers through the door. And I thought, right, here we go. She said, yeah, your quote's probably one of the dearest. I said, well, that's fine. I thought, I'm not the dearest. I know I'm
I
not
would have
the
been
dearest.
over 500 quid for the job.
Like, I know I'm not the dearest. So I think to myself, crikey, what sort of thing she got? And I said, look, I'm going to use your line. What they say and what they do are two different things. I said, I'm not saying I'm the best. I said, but obviously my machines cost money. I said, a lot of people at the start of summer go and give 200 quid in Argos, walk out of a Karcher, spend 20 quid on cards. I said, and you're ringing them. I said, now I'm not saying they can't do the job. I said, but if you just look at the stats of the machines, there's no way they can clean it like it.
Well, so my next door neighbour had a driveway clean. I showed you earlier, didn't I?
Oh, did she not do that?
No, so her mate down the road done it for her with a Karcher.
Oh, I thought she bought a Karcher.
No. Like one of the other neighbours done it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for free. I think I should hope it was for free. But she normally has someone do it who is a competitor of mine, and he does a good job. He's got a good pressure washer.
Yeah.
Right, can't complain. But the last 2 years he's done front and back, quality job. This year she's obviously, I don't know, trying to save the money, but he's done it with a Karcher. My wife said she saw him doing it, and he's a nice fella, the neighbour. We speak to him, but he's just done such a shit job. The blocks are clean, but all the weeds are still there. And it's just obviously not powerful enough to get rid of the weeds. And like a lot of people would look at that and be happy.
Well, I looked at it and I said, for a Karcher, it's a good job. I
Yeah.
think that. I mean, I can't believe how well the blocks come up with a Karcher.
Yeah, but it's not the dirt isn't a difficult thing to get rid of. But he hasn't re-sanded that either.
No, I know.
And if you look where she parks her car,
it's almost not been done.
you look where she parks her car, her back right wheel
Timer.
has started dipping. I've done it. Started dipping already, where the blocks have started to migrate because he hasn't replaced the sand. It's been like 2 weeks.
Why didn't he resand? He probably don't know to resand it.
No, well, he's probably done it for free. So she's gone. Oh, she pays the fella because I spoke to her about it when she first had it done. There's £100 for the front. It's only a 1-car driveway. It's not very big, and I think an extra £50 for the back. And I said, well, if he's doing a good job, let him do it. But if he don't turn up or whatever, I'm happy to do it for the same price. The next door neighbour, it's not, no skin off my nose. And at the time, I had my pressure washer in the back of the van all the time. Anyway, he done it, and obviously he put the sand in, and it was all part of the service. Done the chemical treatment. And I spoke to him, he's a nice fella. And obviously she's gone to this bloke, oh yeah, pay £150 front and back. And he's probably gone, oh, don't do that. I've got bought Karcher. I've done my own. I'll do it for you. It'll only take me half a day or whatever. Not knowing that you've got to replace the sand. Like, if you want the weeds to die, you've got to do a chemical treatment.
Do you know how much of a nightmare it is to hit them blocks back into place as well?
I don't think they'll ever go back into place. You'd have to pull the whole thing up, re-level it, add a load of sand.
Oh, mate, what a nightmare.
It'll cost her more than $150 to have it fixed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, on to the last point of our today's podcast, and it is, what is the end goal? Where do you switch off? Where do you jump ship? Because we've spoke about this a couple of times recently. We can't clean windows for the rest of our lives.
I say this to you every day.
Yeah.
When are we? Yeah.
So, have you got something in mind? Because I know you do other things as well. So you like your property,
yeah,
and you've got plans with sort of renovations on that side of things. But aside from that, just talking about this business, do you have an exit plan?
I don't have an exit plan, but I'll tell you when I think I'll be happy, and I'll look at myself and be like, oh, I'm all right. I'm all right now. And it's when I'm dead. No. It is MKM obviously will be busy, right? So the work continues, the quality of the work continues. I don't want to do residential anymore. Okay? I'd like to shy away from it. The call outs for the old dears are great, yeah?
Or is this still you doing it?
No. I'll get to that.
Yeah, okay.
But it'll be more like I've got every Asda in southeast England, and I have to go there and pressure wash all the car parks, look after the soffits and fascias, all this, that and the other, redo the line painting.
You ain't been to Asda's recently, have you?
No, they're shocking.
They don't have someone doing that shit, mate.
Yeah, but like, you see what I mean? And it will be like a couple of real big contracts and that, and I ain't got to go into the office. There's maybe a couple of people behind the desk, and there's 3 or 4 vans going out. The warehouse is stocked up. There's about 5 or 6 lovely streamers there, lovely petrol.
Just so you can look at them.
Just so I can look at them and be like, it's grown, and the unit's mine. We own the unit, and we've got the podcast room up there, and it's just flying, and I like it. And then it will be like, yeah, this is nice, and it's completely hands off. Obviously, I'll get involved with a few bits and pieces. It's just hands off. I'll take a couple of jobs here and there. You know what I mean? Ones that I want to do. Just to keep myself busy. And yeah, that's where I'll be. That's where I think I'll be happy. Yeah. Because also as well, like, I know it's going to sound really silly, but it's personal with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, this isn't a job. This is my life sort of thing. Like, it's not that I love it that much, but it's like I've invested in this. Yeah. I've stuck time in it. I've got skin in the game. So in terms of, like when people work for a job and they're like, oh, fuck this, I'm tired, I'm going to leave. It's like, mate, there is no leaving for us. Like, when we leave, we check out. Like, it's
that's
done.
it. No, I always think...
what about you?
So, for me, I don't see myself... I struggle to see myself doing, like, not having a business. I've always had a business. Since I turned 19, I've had a business. And even before then, like, I used to like sell sweets and sell shit on eBay.
Did you sell sweets?
Yeah,
I sell sweets as well.
Yeah, I had a little eBay business. I bought a load of like old phone cases, phone screens. So I bought bulk screen protectors, bulk little dust caps that you put into the charger port and the headphone jack, and bulk phone cases.
Yeah.
And then I'll put them together as a package and then resold them as a package. So instead of having to buy them separately, you bought the phone case and you got a free screen protector. That didn't do very well till that flopped. So I stopped doing
Can't win
that.
them all, son.
I fucking threw away. I must have thrown away 1,000 like screen protectors, and phone case terrible. But yeah, I've always had a business. I've always seen myself having a business. Now that I'm a little bit older and wiser, I find that I can't. So I was very hands-on with my last business, and when we sold that, we had a little bit of debt, which meant the sale price wasn't amazing. So with this one, not that I want to avoid debt, but I want to find a way to be less hands-on. So I would be happy to continue doing the sales, going out, meeting clients, closing them in. But as soon as I feel comfortable enough, I want to get people in to do the actual cleaning. At which point I can then look at expanding very quickly and then bringing in management to manage the business. So I could still do the sales role and keep me busy, but it wouldn't necessarily need me to run, at which point I think it's very sellable. Not that I've got any plans to sell it, but I'd like it to be in a position where I could find someone to buy it very easily.
Yeah, you could.
Because it's a completely hands-off investment.
Yeah.
Someone could buy it and it just returns the money.
Yeah, totally.
It sort of runs itself.
Well, let's quickly touch on what we see the other day. So we see on Facebook a guy was trying to sell his round. Did you sent me it?
Yeah. So
the round was 700 customers?
Something like that, yeah.
700 customers. It was 12 grand a month generating, and it was up
80%. It was 8% traditional, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, 20% water-fed pole,
Yeah.
and it was. He said he's looking in offers of 60 grand. Came with a van, didn't it? Came with a van.
Yeah, I think it wasn't a very good van.
No, it was like an old Peugeot, but it was all the setup, all ready to rock and roll. Me and you was talking about it at length, weren't we? We was like, mate, 60 grand. That's a much better investment than you would get out of property.
Yeah, business is always going to be.
It's always going to be better, but like,
the risk, you've got the risk factor.
Oh, totally. But I thought to myself, 60 grand would get you a van and that booklet, and
12k a month.
And 12k a month.
But then I don't know if you saw this bit at the bottom of his post. That was, it takes 3 people 15 days.
Yeah.
So say you could do some efficiency, entrepreneurship, shaving, and bring that down to 2 people, 20 days.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously that's you and someone else, potentially, or you pay 2 people.
Or just pay the original blokes that are doing it now.
They might have been part owners, though.
They might have been part owners of it, but it's incredible.
If the people are there, obviously,
Yeah.
saleability-wise, brilliant, because, you just buy it and then send them out, and say they're on two quid a month each. That's 6 out of your 12. Minus some cost.
Let's say a grand a month for water and breakages.
And like van insurance.
Now
and
you're at
shit
5.
like that. Yeah. So
Still
call
not
it
bad.
4 grand.
Yeah.
4 grand a month income for not doing
It's
anything.
nearly paid in year 1. It's incredible, isn't it?
It's a beautiful investment.
It is incredible. And they are out there.
Imagine doubling your money every 18 months.
Yeah, it's savage. And you've still got it to sell at the end.
Yeah.
And as long as you're nice with it, it will only grow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, that's an opportunity there. But the trouble you've got is whoever buys it, no one does traditional anymore. And the people that do are obviously getting older. They're not looking to spend 60 grand. So something like that, right, which if anyone's later on in life and looking to, check out, here's the issue you've got with selling something like that. If you've got 60 grand to spend on a window cleaning round, you are not buying it from Steve, who's looking to retire, who's 80% traditional, 20% water-fed pole. You want to buy you want to buy a business.
Yeah.
You want to buy, something with a brand. You want to buy something with some sort of, like,
I understand what you're saying.
some sort of organisation around it.
All he's going to do is hand you his phone book.
Or his diary with it all written down,
Yeah.
And the trouble you're going to have is anyone who's got the money to pay for it isn't going to want it.
Yeah.
Anyone who wants it is not going to have the money to pay for it. So if someone wants it, they might go, well, I've got 30 grand, or I'll work it off. Now, then the next issue after that is whoever buys it probably won't be a traditional window cleaner. So they're going to want to convert those 80%. Huge. Was
That's
that like
a huge amount.
550 customers, 600 customers. They're going to want to convert those to water-fed pole. Now, some of them might not want.
You're going to lose like
water-fed
10% in you.
It might be more than that. I don't
Yeah.
know what, I don't do traditional, so I'm not sure what the conversion rate on that, something like that is. But you will lose some. So your 12k a month might end up being 8k a month, plus all the work you've had to put in, plus you've had to spend however much money. And yeah, obviously it's still good investment, but no one's paying 60 grand because it's not something that they can just pick up and run with.
Do you not think?
No. And then like on top of that,
I thought it was a good deal.
I'm sure. Would you have given 60 grand for it?
Yeah, I would have had a chat with him for sure. Seriously.
You would have spent 60 grand on, you would have spoke to him and you would have just gone, it's too much work.
Oh, no. What I mean is, it's a good deal. Like, if I'm not tailored for traditional, I wouldn't buy it. But I would
Money-wise, it's a good deal, but in reality, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're
60
saying.
grand for 12 grand a month is a fucking incredible deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like, you and me both know,
there's a lot of work
if it's too good to be true, there's something wrong.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think it's too good to be true, because there is a snag, and the snag is it's traditional.
Well, the second part of that is probably, I'm sure it had on there that it was a certain amount cash. It was either cash or bank transfer on the day, which is great because they're selling it to you like the people pay all the time. But it's time consuming taking cash. You've either got to trust the person to pick it up, you've then got to like manually check it off and say, right, yeah, that person's paid, tick, that person's paid, tick. When you're talking 700 customers, you want it done automatically.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
You want them on a direct debit so that you're in control of when they've paid and you can go, yeah, charge. And you get a notification if it bounces back because they ain't got enough money in their account, and then that's what you can chase. Imagine chasing 700 payments.
Yeah, mate, no way.
And just the organisation that goes with
no way.
Marking off, oh, Doris paid her £8 in cash.
Imagine chapping 700 doors.
Yeah.
That'd take you half a day in itself. Mate, that'd take you a month. Imagine walking up 700 drives to knock on the door.
Well, this is the thing, yeah? You've got 3 people out cleaning.
Yeah.
Then you're either going to spend all your time chasing money, or you've got to pay someone to chase money. Then really, at that level, you're probably going to need someone to, like, organise it. And I'm sure a lot of these blokes that are at that level have, like, their wife help. So they don't see that as
paid labour.
Yeah.
This
is just like a family business. Like, we'll chip in.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you want to sell in it, that your wife ain't coming with that deal, mate. So I've got to replace your wife with someone on £2 grand a month.
My wife?
Yeah,
no, I know.
So then before you know it,
it's actually a bad
deal. It's like £2 grand a month.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's interesting. When you start breaking it down, it's so interesting.
And like my outstanding payments value is always above £2 grand. And I don't have 700 customers. I've got about 170, 180.
Your outstanding
is
above £2 grand.
So imagine how much money is outstanding on 700 customers. And if it's more than £2 grand at any one point,
you don't want it.
You're losing money a month.
Yeah.
Because it's just sitting in outstanding payments.
Totally.
So then your 60 grand is losing you money rather than making you money.
No,
so the point of the story is, if you're looking to sell something, it needs to be much more commercial, much more of a commercial enterprise. You've got to have processes in place. You've got to have like some sort of uniform system where you can't have, like, I'm not saying my business is ready to sell at the moment. It's not, because I've got like 50% cash, 10% direct debit, and the rest is bank transfer or credit card. So it's just an absolute shit show. When in reality, it needs to be
99%.
Like anyone who's a monthly customer or a regular customer is on direct debit. Anyone who's like a one-off or a yearly or a quarterly can pay card, and no exceptions.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know, say that.
Hey, interesting.
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
When you actually break it down.
Yeah, there's a lot to consider.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot to consider.
But then if that guy had put those systems in place to begin with, and he had like someone doing the finances, and there was like minimal outstanding payments because you had someone chasing them all the time, you know, you managed to turn 3 guys into 2 guys, converted as many of them to water-fed poles as you possibly could, and say, look, I've done the work. I've done as many conversions as I can. These people just don't want water-fed pole work. These people are. It's not more 50-50 now, you know. And then you could go, right, I don't have anything to do with it. You know, I come in and just make sure everything's running smoothly. It'd be worth 300 grand. Easy.
How'd you get that figure?
Well, 12k a month, 144 grand a year.
Yeah.
3x, 2x.
What, yearly?
Well, that's how you value a business. It's normally valued on turnover.
Oh yeah, but now you're pricing it as a business as opposed to window cleaning. Yeah.
Rather than a job.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, really.
Like the reason like window cleaning rounds are like 5x is because
that's monthly turnover. Though,
yeah. But it's just money for old rope.
It's just a phone book.
One person's giving you this work, whereas a business is valued on turnover because of the processes in place. If you value the business, you can value it on profit. You could do, but in my experience, most businesses are valued on turnover. Mainly because, like, if you've got £1 million business, it might only make 80 grand a year. But a 200 grand. So £1 million business might only make 80 grand in profit, but the same business making 200 grand could have 80 grand profit. But a 200 grand business is run by the person who owns it, has the wife helping out.
Oh, I see.
Do you see what I mean? Yeah. So the £1 million business
is completely hands off.
Is valued much higher because it's an investment. Someone could buy it and just
hold it.
Yeah. It'd be like buying a property.
Yeah.
And the property manager puts the person in, deals with the tenants.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. You might have to go in and buy a new van, you know, or replace some equipment. But it's valued much higher for that reason.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, nice one. Shall we let them know we've got a nice couple of big episodes coming up, or should we keep it a secret?
No, I think we keep it a secret.
Oh, you're not going to know. We ain't going to spoil you just yet.
No, so
we got a belters coming up.
This episode and next episode is sponsored by Hero Soft Wash.
Yeah.
And I will say it on here as well. I know I've done a pre-recording, but if you haven't checked out the pressure washing calculator, that is completely free to download. So download it, have a little play around with it. It is extremely good for just getting prices out to customers.
I wonder if it'll work on my phone
quickly.
No signal. Yeah, I started.
Yeah, I think it's an offline app.
It's an offline app. I started playing around with it, and I really liked it.
But you don't need the paid version for it to really enhance your business.
No, it's like I said, for free. Yeah. I think it's incredible. So you can go on like terraced house, semi-detached. I mean, it's all on there.
And I feel like the paid stuff, like what the stuff you get for the paid version over the free version, if you do that sort of work, the cost of, I think it's like £5 a month. The cost of the app is like nothing compared to what you'd be making as a business if you was offering all them services as well.
Yes.
It's like roof cleaning, ceiling, all stuff like that, isn't it?
So, no, I would definitely recommend it. Please just download it. Just to even have a look, just entertain it.
Yeah, we don't get anything from you.
I think it's worth it, especially as well. Like if you just need a bit of a second opinion on it, because I mean, you've priced jobs, I've priced jobs horrifically.
Yeah.
Or like overshot it, undershot it, and that. But it's always good, even if you've got your system in place now that you use. It's always good to get a second opinion.
Yeah, because you can add in the cost of the sand, so what you actually pay for the sand.
Yeah, you can do sealant as well.
Yeah, it prices up sealant for you. Jointing if you're rejointing.
Yeah, moss removal for roofs, scraping, biocide. Yeah, it's very clever.
Everything. So it's definitely worth downloading. But we have got a new sponsor for the month of July. That's what we will tell them.
Yes.
There is a new sponsor for the month of July. That's my alarm. And the details on that will be coming.
Yeah, we ain't going to tell you just yet. Old horses, everyone, all right? Just old horses.
But it's a big one. It's a big one. No one in the cleaning industry has done it before.
And after that,
first.
we will be numero uno in the UK.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a big plaque here with our faces on it.
Yeah. We'll need a couple of those decorative plates, like what they do for like the queening.
Should we just get one, me and you?
Yeah. And we'll get like you can put a little shelf up and we can have
like a pressure washer on it.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of us.
Like get one of those, the model villages they do at Christmas.
Yeah,
See if we can get a man pressure washing.
Yeah.
Or we'll go talk to the guys down at the 3D printing.
Man.
Get him to take a picture of us and then 3D print it, and then
Mate.
we'll have to paint it.
Mate, do you reckon our
reckon.
fans will buy them? I think they'd love them. Like little paperweights. Don't you think?
It wouldn't be very heavy, would
Mine
they?
would have to be upside down though, because my head's heavier than my feet.
Right, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. That was cool.
That was a good episode.
I nearly lost my life. I got choked.
Thanks everyone for
Yeah.
watching. Thanks for the support. We're reaching good levels now. We're at, letting everyone know 136 subscribers as of today on YouTube, which is incredible. We also get a lot more listeners on Spotify and Apple and all the rest of it.
Dan is going to be doing the shorts.
Yes.
As of today, we found a relatively easy to use
software program.
software. Yeah. So
it's an American software which basically chops it all up. But yeah, well, I'm going to have a little go at the shorts, so hopefully keep you guys entertained. But thanks for your
continued support.
Continued support.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you. Thanks.
And we're hoping over the next, well, going forward from now, we're just hoping we can give something back to you guys with the deals that we're putting together.
Yeah, like we'll take them all out to the seaside and that and get them all on ice cream. Just like 136 pressure washers all on the
No,
beach.
but when we have secured a spot at the expo next year, and it's a little while off.
Yes.
But there will be free goodies at the expo.
Yeah, little goodies and that. And ultimately, we've got another little spin-off, haven't we? With you. We're going to do a bit of filming with you.
Yeah. So, I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram. I've been let down by every large manufacturer. I'm not here to throw shade, but there's lots of things they can do except reply to emails and inquiries. So
he's taken it upon himself.
So yeah, I have taken it upon myself, and I'm going to build. Well, we are going to build my own van-mounted pressure washing system, soft washing system.
Yes.
Shelving, painting, lighting. All of that.
And we ain't just going to record the good bits. We're going to record the bits where everything doesn't fit and we fall out and never talk to each other again.
I'll just quit.
Yeah, we just cry and all of that.
But basically we're going to release a series of videos from... So I've ordered everything. I'm just waiting on a couple more bits to arrive. We're going to do like an unboxing episode where we show you everything. And we're going to talk about the pricing. I think that's the most important thing, because... the price, so for the price of the van mounted pressure washer minus fitting, I've managed to buy everything, including a soft washing setup, including repainting the van, including lots of things on top of...
Repainting the van?
Like the base of the van, like with the protector coat stuff.
Oh, right, yeah.
Obviously, we'll have to do like a week's worth of labour on it, probably, but we're going to talk about the pricing and compare that to...
purchasing it.
Yeah, and show people what they could save.
Yeah, it's going to be a great couple of episodes. So
yeah, there'll
keep
be
tuned, guys.
Then putting it all together, installing it, falling out, installing it again, falling out again.
Never talking again.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, we've got everything we need.
Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So we have got some fantastic episodes coming up, guys. So stay tuned.
And that'll be on top of the podcast. By the way.
Yeah. Mate, we're going to be filming non-stop.
Mate, start on OnlyFans.
Only Dan's.
What about me?
All the best, guys, and remember, stay cleaning.
You bitch.